I titled this Music. I couldn't tell you the date, but it was the exact day after Drake and Future dropped What a Time to Be Alive, the first collaborative mixtape from the two artists. It wasn't even that good, but I didn't care. I was headed to see my girl. I was bumping that fire high on teen romance in my tan Pontiac, Montana, streaking past Ashland on my way to Lincoln, going 80 on 80 at 8 a.m. She was short, curvy, and full of fire, and this girl had me by the balls. She was the blue-eyed blonde I had been seeing since junior high summer camp when I would secretly play the pop country single 19 You and Me by Dan and Shay in order to put myself to sleep. I was out and about my day early because my friend Adam had a football game in Lincoln that morning. I wanted to hang out with him and to take advantage of a little shit talking that would hype me up for my big day. After his game, I met him outside a gas station next to the field. We sat in my van listening to the mixtape. My van had custom subs, because that's how I fucking rolled in high school. So we sat in the trunk. He was a little pissed that day. He told me that last night his parents found a shoebox in his closet with Fireball in it. As a result, they made him turn over his vape. He was upset about it because he wasn't going to be able to vape his Fireball the way he saw someone do in a YouTube video. Adam was moaning and scratching up and down the passenger seat since he was probably experiencing the first stages of nicotine withdrawal. He kept screaming praises about how fire the mixtape was and giving me shit about how my girl was probably fucking another dude. I was starting to regret bringing him along each time he begged me to stop the car so we could bum a cig from each passing smoker. When we got to her place, I remember getting close to my limit as we pulled up. I told Adam to chill out and not mess this up, and to appease him, I reluctantly handed him over the keys so he could listen to the mixtape while I went in. My girl wasn't very punctual, as I would find out next spring when I took her to junior prom and she was 4 hours late. Needless to say, it took Miss Tardy Tits a long time to work her way out of the house. So I waited for her like I always did. The Huskers were playing that Sunday and her whole family gathered in the living room to watch the game. I could hear that Adam had turned up the volume in the van and the subs were vibrating the windows and blinds. I thought about storming out of there and putting an end to his life, but I realized I had nothing to worry about. Turns out her family has a hereditary condition that makes most of them deaf. Literally deaf, either in one ear or both. Deaf enough that I didn't even have a chance to declare my honest intentions with her daughter, niece, or sister. I remember the screams when Armstrong threw a first down. They consisted of terrifying, out-of-control bleedings. I remember her little nieces with permanent expressions of terror on their faces, propped behind the sofa, while her uncle stood beating his chest after a pass interference and their toothless grandma gargled curses at the television for a false start. I would have never thought I learned what the inside of a slaughterhouse for sheep sounds like, but I endured it for half an hour until she emerged as if no time had passed, suggesting we go bowling. So we went out to the car with Adam, but the van wouldn't start. He had been playing the mixtape on the battery for the last half hour. So back to the deaf household I go looking for some jumper cables. Her deaf uncle, dressed in a Husker red shirt, shorts, and shoes, angrily comes out, jumps into his huge pickup and rolls up into the front yard over to my van. While Uncle Deaf banged around under the hood of my van, I awkwardly attempted to help where I could. Adam was on the neighbor's porch trying to bum a cig from a fat black lady sitting in her rocking chair, and I tried to signal him across the yard to cut it out, like he was the deaf one, while I continued to make pointless verbal suggestions to her uncle. I don't remember the rest of that day. It was still in the AM once we got my van jumped. I think it was because I wouldn't let Adam touch the stereo for the rest of the day. It's hard to remember things once the music stops.